Cover that ass.
Before I even did that, I was like, I already started putting up my resume. I already hit up Kate. Like, here's my resume.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she said she got it. She's got to look it over.
So get the fuck out of here. I'm done. I'm making 12 years. I'm done. I went out.
I'm 10 as of this past Monday. 10 years.
Time to go.
They like cover that ass, right?
The day they sent that email out that was like, here's all the anniversaries. It had my name in there. That's when they told me, oh, by the way, we eliminated your position.
It's like, you need to hold that shit. Like now.
Of dicks. So yeah, I seem stressed. That's what's been going down.
I'm like that every day.
Say what?
I'm like that every day at work.
Yeah.
Of course you are. You are always like that.
No, I keep my head down. I'm like, fuck this place.
I'm keeping my head down.
Place just
Good
drives
work.
me. It kills my morale.
Yeah. Well, that's how it was
in
today.
positive
Today,
news,
being so angry, and then just like I get home, I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything.
Well, the hell with you guys. In positive news, right? So, you know, my job starts on Thursday, and it's going good.
Congrats.
It's going good so far. I mean, you know, we cleaned up the classroom. We're getting ready for the kids to come in on Thursday. I just gotta go tomorrow. I just gotta shut up.
That's what they do.
That's what.
Speaking of kids, hey Keith. You know what time it is, right?
Take your ass to bed. Like,
save up, go to bed, bro.
Tell him I said take your ass to bed.
This is the time when all the internet shuts off to all the devices.
That's if he doesn't proceed. They don't like that. They don't like that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Keith, you know you didn't give me any links to any of this shit, right? Like,
oh, yeah, I'm looking at the list here, and it's just well, they seem to just be talking points.
They're just talking points.
Okay, I thought they were links that we could actually put up.
No.
Anyways.
And also the Sonic De Novo bullshit, how it hurts the game and how it hurts the consumers.
Okay, so can we also
I haven't checked in on that since.
So we can actually talk. So we can actually talk about Life is Strange as well.
How do I sound? I sound better now.
Sound actually pretty good.
I'm getting the handle of this mixer.
No, you actually sound pretty good. Like you sound like you.
But everybody can be like John, fucking mission control.
Oh my god, John. On top of that, he's got the radio DJ voice too. Like I'm so jealous.
I mean, me and John both have the same similar radio DJ voices, so it's okay.
Got a good set of pipes going, yeah.
Like that's what we do.
I sound like this. I'm like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, yo, what's going on? I'm Clinton Bowman, and this is the 32nd episode of the Xbox Experience podcast. Well, not podcast, excuse me. Xbox Experience live radio show on YouTube and on Twitch. I'm joined by Keith, Mr. Frame Rates Matters, Mitchell.
Just call me Mr. Not Playing Destiny 2 right now, and I'm so mad. Hashtag feels bad, bro.
And we are also joined by Aaron Mechanicism Sanders.
Ah, thank you. You almost said my mother's maiden name. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, Keith. We got like 48 days left to let hits PC.
Yo, don't remind me. Like
too many days.
I'm counting down. It's a lot of days to count down.
So don't remind me. I mean, we're looking at Destiny coming out for us in October on October the 24th. So
when it comes out, all the dungeons will be beat, the raids have been over, everybody's got all the fat loot. Like, oh, so.
But to be fair, we don't even have. We're not like on the PC. We're not getting all the stuff that the PlayStations will be getting for the first year. So we're gonna be like at a disadvantage regardless, and that kind of pisses me off to a degree. It kind of does. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that always bothers me. But I mean, yeah.
All right, so obviously got some stuff to talk about. So let's talk
about it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Keith.
Which
on the same page.
I don't know if this is a faux pas to ask this during the podcast. Which outlet are we on tonight?
We're on Twitch, and we are on Twitch, and we are on YouTube as well. YouTube.com. Just go search the Outerhaven Productions. We're live, and we're also on. We are also on twitch.tv/Navigator Bowman, and we will be going back to Mixer next week. So mixer.com/the Outerhaven. That sweet FTL. That being said, so the Xbox One and the Xbox One X will be getting official mouse and keyboard support. Now I know one person that's crying and bitching about that. Yes, I'm looking at you, Jeff Kaplan. But
I'll let it say me because I'm like I could care two beeps about that.
Oh, you can give two darns about it?
Yes, two crab baskets about it. Yeah, that's it. Crab basket.
But you know, there's a good question that's been posed. what we don't know is what developers are supporting it yet. We know that Jeff Kaplan has said that he does not want mouse and keyboard support on consoles. But what other developers may support this? This can be a question. Do you think that Capcom will support it with Monster Hunter World coming out?
No, Monster Hunter is made around a controller now.
I don't know, man. Remember there was a Japan only PC Windows Monster Hunter game, so I wouldn't be surprised about that. But we know that there's games is coming out. So things such as, I think PUBG, if I remember correctly, is coming out, as well as what's the other game that's coming out that is kind of like a MOBA that we saw at PAX, but not PAX, E3. But there's a bunch of MOBAs coming out, and Smite's already on there, which we know that they will be giving, Hi-Rez is giving keyboard support. So Keith, what are you thinking about this mouse and keyboard support coming to the Xbox One family of consoles?
Me?
I mean, your name is Keith.
Can I be honest and say I don't care?
Okay.
I'm glad to see that it's coming. However, it's going to be a limited application for the Xbox One X. Because it remains to see which developers are going to support this. Microsoft is giving everybody access to mouse and keyboard support, but again, it's up to developers, and it's still kind of split. A lot of games are designed for the controller. Adding a keyboard and mouse is sort of an inconvenience when it comes to the console space, unless you're talking about very competitive games like Overwatch and first-person shooters. So it's going to be really hard to see who's going to come out first. But if I think anybody's going to do it, it could be Capcom with Monster Hunter World, or I was just thinking about another game, and then I lost my concentration here. Destiny could possibly use it as well. We'll just have to wait and see. They're very mum on the issue. They're not saying who is going to have it.
Indeed. Aaron, what are you thinking about?
They're going to go back and stick that into Halo Wars 2 immediately.
That would be nice, too.
That's probably what'll happen.
They'll probably got some kind of sponsorship with somebody, like maybe Razer or somebody with the big-ass keyboard.
Get a big lap board, something to actually use on the couch. It's interesting, though. I mean, we've seen so many games just be completely balanced differently on the console, specifically because controllers are way different than using a mouse and keyboard. And we played the Destiny beta last week, and we all came out of that saying playing this with a mouse and keyboard is way better. So, yeah, I'd love to see what happens. I'm afraid not much is going to happen at first because people are going to be really slow to adopt that.
Yeah, so that's definitely something to really think about. Yo, please tell me that it updated. Can you tell me if it updated on Twitch? Please update it on my personal Twitch. I can't tell right
I see
now.
it there. Yeah.
Does it say no? Does it say Fight Night? Does it say podcast? Please tell me it says podcast.
Oh,
it says
somebody came in here and said
shenanigans we're running now.
We got.
Don't you change the main site?
I freaking I updated this, by the way. I just want you to understand. I updated this, by the way, on Twitch. Gotta love Twitch. Twitch is so good. Technical difficulties. Oh, there's gonna be a fight tonight. That being said, let me just edit this. I know I switched it. I'm doing this on the fly, by the way. Don't you just love it? Let's talk about the next thing. Microsoft has an upcoming Windows 10 Fall Creators Update. And you know the deal. With that update comes more Windows game mode stuff. Talk about that, Keith. Let's have a conversation about that. Let's start with you.
So when Microsoft first came out with the games mode for Windows 10, the hype was it was going to do what a couple other programs did, was basically kill unnecessary applications or services running in the background when you were playing a game. So it would give you the maximum memory utilization. It would make sure your processor isn't being used by anything else other than the game, and that your GPU isn't being used by anything but the game. However, people came out and tested that, and they were like, it's not really doing much of anything. So, and some PCs that had low-end hardware, it actually caused more issues. So the consensus was game mode for Windows 10 was not very good. So Microsoft went back to the drawing board, and they're saying that everything they promised before in game mode will work this time around.
Right.
Which is still really funny because, again, lower-end people had issues, and higher-end people didn't really see a benefit because they had the power, they had the CPU, they had the memory. It didn't make any difference for them. They were fine. So, and I tried it, and I don't see any difference between what they said it was supposed to offer, what it's doing. I run window mode on all my games on my streaming PC, or window game mode, excuse me, and it doesn't do anything. I also have a script that I use that goes through and kills services in the background before I play a game, just to test it. And again, I'm not seeing any big difference here because I'm not part of the general population, the general populace with lower end or mid-range PC specs, so I'm not the best person to talk about that. However, the benefits is you're supposed to see higher frame rates, you're supposed to see better threads, and you're supposed to overall see a better performing game at the same time.
Yes.
We'll have to wait to see when the update comes out. And I think that's what, October 27th or October 10th. I don't remember the date.
I don't think did they give the date?
They did. Let me look it up. They did give a date. Let me turn my key.
Let me check it. Windows 10 Falls Creator Update. Did they give a date? I feel like
they did. I got it. They gave a date.
17th of October?
17th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's coming out October 7th. That's coming out on October the 17th. Right. So that's something to really kind of think about. Aaron, your thoughts on this?
Can I complain about something from the last creators update?
Yes, you can.
Because I had a tech support ticket open with NVIDIA for this. It went nowhere. Since the creators update on my PC, I've got one monitor hooked up by HDMI, and that one, half the time I have to boot twice to get that monitor to come on. I'll get into Windows, and the monitor isn't off. Windows thinks there's a second monitor. It thinks it's putting things over there. It's just black. And if I reboot, it comes on. And I did some searching on this, and it's not an uncommon problem. A bunch of people out there are actually seeing the same thing. And all the troubleshooting steps are just the basic reinstall the drivers, go through, run SFC, scan, all that stuff. None of it actually really works. It's kind of hit or miss for making a difference. So all I want out of the next creators update is for that to get fixed. That's all I want. They fix that. I don't care if it helps performance or anything else. I just want my monitor to work on the first try every time now.
I mean, to be fair, it doesn't affect me. Like I get both my monitors instantly on. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's what's confusing when you're telling that story.
Yeah, it seems to be if the monitor's off on when I first boot up the computer, and it's my second monitor, so everything's displaying on the left monitor, during post and all that stuff. So yeah, by the time it gets to Windows, this thing wasn't on, and for some reason Windows doesn't correctly send it the video feed that it's supposed to. Now it's not every single time too, which is even more frustrating. So like I'll boot up from just being completely off, and it'll work. I'll be like, oh, is it fixed? And then the next time I turn on my PC, it'll do the black monitor thing again. So it was definitely the creators update. It started immediately after that. I had no problems before that, and other people have reported the same thing. I just want that fixed.
Yo, Keith, you have a mention about that? Something to go on that?
No, I don't. But I will say Microsoft is saying that feedback. There we go. Is saying that this will make the PC similar or act similar to an Xbox One, which is really weird that they said that.
Well, it's like you were saying, it's supposed to minimize background processes and dedicate more of the hardware, I guess, to the game actually being played. So, in theory, that's what the Xbox is doing. So I imagine they're trying to get Windows to run the same way.
I mean,
we've been saying this for years that Windows needs a game mode, and it took them this long to finally say, "Oh, hey, Windows needs a game mode." Really?
They gave up on PC gaming for a few years, didn't they?
Say that again, Aaron.
They gave up on PC gaming for a few years there, so.
On and off. Don't start it. Oh my god, on and off.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I wasn't expecting Windows to actually come up with this in the first place. So I'm kind of pleased that they are coming up with it.
Sure, yeah.
They saw everybody bitching about this, and they saw all the other applications that were like, this application will turn your game into a game mode, or like Razer had one. Razer had IOBit had one. Razer purchased that. There's another company that has one. There's 3 other companies I believe that have a game mode software that you're.
But again, I mean, I'm glad. No, I'm just saying, I'm glad that Windows is actually doing it themselves. I should have said that. I'm sorry. I should have clarified that. That was a clarification error on my part.
Windows is OS. Microsoft is the company.
I'm glad that Microsoft is doing it. I know what you're fucking talking about. Stop being a semantic biatch.
I'm being legit. You know what?
I know.
Either go right or don't go at all.
All right, look, listen. I'm glad you're correcting me, okay? I'm happy. I appreciate the fact that you're correcting me. What I'm trying to say is, Keith, I'm glad that Microsoft is actually considering doing this. This is actually a good thing. I'm more pleased about that than opposed to them just not doing this at all, because that would actually be stupid.
Well, we could go without it, but this whole Windows Xbox ecosystem, so
Windows as a service, and I kind of like that, dude. Don't get me wrong. You know how much I despise Apple.
No, you do not like Windows as a service. No,
no. You know how much I despise.
You like paying for Windows?
Look, you know how much I despise Apple, right? To a degree. I mean, it's fine. It took me about a year to get rid of my iPhone. I'm just saying, I like the idea of what they're doing in terms of taking that model and applying it to Windows and Xbox. That's smart. Now, granted, are they going to go full balls to the wall and actually be like, yeah, everything's connected like that? Like, I hope not. I hope there's still some kind of parity between them. But you know what? To be fair, if everything the same makes everything easier to develop for, in my personal opinion. Thoughts? Impressions? Clinton, you're an idiot.
Impressions. We can't have any impressions. We don't have the update yet.
No, I'm not talking about the update. I'm just talking about the idea.
Next subject, please.
Yo, shutting me down, boy. So, yo, PUBG, right? Yo, son, PUBG dominating like hell right now. So, it just surpassed as one of the most played Steam games, past Dota 2, and it surpassed League of Legends as the most streamed game on Twitch. Now, let's talk about this for a minute, because this is something we never thought would happen.
It's not that we didn't think it would happen.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not that we didn't think it would happen. It's just the game has just taken off. It's the internet sensation. People are playing it. They're enjoying it. And word of mouth sells. And it's selling, which is really, really, really amazing about this. And it's unprecedented. It's a early access, nowhere near finished game, killing both League of Legends and Dota 2. That's saying something. That's really...
I think what that's really speaking to is the content of the game, the style of the game. Like what they've put together here is really working. It's actually really proving to be fun to play. In my opinion, a lot less frustrating than other competitive games. You're not. I mean, you can do it as a squad, but then you're working closely with other friends to try to get through it. Otherwise, I mean, losing in that game is not a big deal or frustrating. You get knocked out, you jump right back into another round. It's fun even getting that far. There was actually a quote over on gamesindustry.biz, if I could read that real quick, that I thought was fairly applicable. Steve Gaynor wrote this, and he says, but winning is the exception, and losing can be fun, and anything in between is an adventure, which sets PUBG apart entirely, and in a meaningful way, from almost any other competitive multiplayer game I've encountered. And it's completely true. Like, everything you do in that game it's just fun to be in there and running around, trying to find the gear, trying to sneak around, trying not to get taken out, trying to keep ahead of the player zone collapsing. It's what they've put together is fun, and how they've done it, how well they've done it is really it's showing through in how it's unseated Dota 2, and it's just climbed right to the top.
I've yet to play it.
You got to get on there.
I was going to play it this past weekend, but then I got caught up in streaming the games I was streaming. And
what were you streaming?
I was playing Dark Souls, actually, with people.
Nice.
I was playing co-op Dark Souls with people. They kind of enjoyed that.
That's perfectly acceptable. That's good, too.
So that, I was going to pick up and play again Alien Isolation, because apparently people are like, play that game again. But, I can just see myself picking up my keyboard and just slamming it on the ground playing PUBG. Because when I start playing first-person shooters, I get into them. And
well, this one, unless you're on a first-person only server, you can jump between first-person and third-person. So
you played it. So
yeah,
I keep hearing people say they played in duels and they played in party. Is it matched up against other people playing duels, or is it like duels and single player? And
no, if you're going single, you're going to be on a server full of just other singles. If you're doing duos, you're going to be on with just duos. If you're doing squads,
okay, that helps.
Squads.
Okay, that helps. That was my thing. I didn't want to be on there like, there's a team of 4 people just going around.
Now, if your partner or your squad gets taken out, though, it's just you versus everybody that's still out there.
All right, I'll have to give it a try. I mean, it's $29. I mean, they've talked a big deal about it at PAX West and Gamescom. They've got that big ass desert map coming, which I really want to play. I'll give it a try.
No, I think you'll like it. You may find it a little tense, but it's in a fun way.
The only thing I don't like, and I've seen a lot, and I guess that's what the whole map enclosure happens, is when people start taking up positions and start camping and just sitting there. And I see people hide in bushes and hide behind buildings. Like, that seems kind of boring.
Well, that's how you got to do it at the end game, because I mean, the whole point is it's collapsing the zone where you can be without taking damage and eventually dying, to force everybody to get closer together so that you don't end up with this, you know, like 6-hour match where you couldn't find the last person alive because they could be across the map from you.
So typically, you know, PUBG is actually a very dominating game. I think that's the thing that we can all listeners agree on, in terms of just how good of a game in terms of reach that it has. We have another story to come up, so let's talk a little bit about the Nouveau. We talked about the Nouveau last week, and we talked about the Nouveau ad nauseum before. Like the Nouveau. It seems like it's always in the news now. And another game came out with the Nouveau. Life is Strange debuted this week. Life is Strange, actually last week, excuse me. So Life is Strange debuted last week, and that game, well, Life is Strange Before the Storm, excuse me, let me specify the prequel to the game. I played it on twitch.tv/navigator so you can go check that out. I'm gonna play another game through of it again, this time in a proper layout. That last time was a little impromptu. So this game actually features the Nouveau. Nah, we're not really getting any problems like Rhyme was getting problems with the Nouveau, but we aren't really getting any problems with the Nouveau in terms of Life is Strange. It performs pretty good. The frame rate's pretty solid. You can play unlocked, you can play 60 locked, and you can play 30 locked on PC. So that's a thing that you can do. Now, Sonic Mania also had the Nouveau, and it got cracked. Now, Life is Strange, if I remember correctly, got cracked in 4 days. Sonic Mania got cracked. No, Life is Strange got cracked in 2 days. Sonic Mania got cracked in 8 days, and Tekken 7 got cracked in 4 days. That is insane.
Well, people are getting tired of this garbage DRM, anti-tamper garbage.
But to put things in perspective, you know, Sonic Mania really did not have any performance issues with the Nouveau, and then neither did Life is Strange or Tekken 7. The thing about the biggest issue with the Nouveau, and you could see it in the Steam comment section, which is honestly the worst thing to do, because it basically tanks a game's rating because you're being salty about dumb shit, is that they're complaining about the fact that the Nouveau is on Sonic Mania, which honestly, I'll give Sega credit, they actually put a fix on it where you can play Sonic Mania offline the way it was meant to be.
Yeah, that was the big deal with that. Like, it was causing problems with offline play.
Yeah. So that was the only thing. Life is Strange, we've seen no real issues it, because Life is Strange is a one-player game. You must connect to, you do have the option to connect to the Square Enix account if you so please, so you can make sure you keep track of all your information and such. However, like I said, Life is Strange, no issues. My big question is, though, do we see the Nouveau make appearances on other games on the PC platform, or will we start to see a decline in the Nouveau, Keith?
Nope, we won't see a decline. It'll be everywhere as always, because these companies have not got the idea or the message that anytime you put the Nouveau on a game, somebody or somebodies will crack it and throw salt in your face saying, hey, look, you spent $1,000 on this anti-tamper software and it's useless yet again. Tekken 7, Sonic Mania, Life is Strange, Mass Effect Andromeda, Doom, countless games. The Nouveau came out on the game within a week. Within a week, it's gone. Sonic Mania, you delayed it for 2 weeks to implement this crappy DRM. You lied to your fans.
But hold on, you're actually talking conjecture, though. That's conjecture, and I will have to.
No, it's not conjecture, because the people who developed the game said this was not part of the plan. They did not sign off on that one. They didn't even know that was happening.
No, but that doesn't necessarily mean. But that's not necessarily saying that they delayed the game because of that. They probably did optimize. They probably did optimize the game.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
You start going high and mighty. It was not listed on the Steam page at all.
I'm not disagreeing, but I'm not disagreeing. But Keith, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm really not disagreeing that. What I'm trying to say.
Okay, but they added it when the game released. Is it? Oh, it was a mistake. We forgot to add this. The story's been up for 2 months. You all of a sudden forgot that you didn't put the Nouveau on there.
No, no. What they said, and I can't remember exactly what they said. They said, "Oh, there is an error on the Steam page that does not list the fact that the nouveau is there." Like, right? But at the same time, keep in mind, you're saying that they lied. They lied. Yes, granted, a lie of omission is still a lie. But at the same time, how do you know that they didn't put the optimizations in there? You know, granted, there was some issues with like controller play and stuff like that. I will give it that.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'll say they lied because it was not part of the plan. When you have a developing team, because this was still outsourced,
yes,
that was not part of Sega. When they developed the game, and you never told them from the door that we're going to implement the novel on your project, not once, not to anybody. And then the last second, oh yeah, here it is. Really?
That's mad disrespectful. I mean, granted, it's still Sega's game. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. I mean, I'm not sitting on there saying
they can, but I bet you it would have went down a different way if you had told me from the gate, well, we're doing this. I would have like people would have been like, and they would have not got the support that they were getting from the PC crowd. These are the same people that are upset now, saying, "Hey, this game is shit." Now, I wrote an article saying that that's not fair to do that to the game. You shouldn't trash the game because of the novel, but at the same time, how many times are we going to have these developers go back and say, you know, we're adding the novel to the game, and it either does cause an issue or it's their way of slapping consumers in the face? Because I haven't even approached that subject.
Because I'll be honest with you, Keith, I'll throw it out there, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say about this. You know, the community manager for a Sonic team is just sitting there like, this is not good. Complain, like literally complain, and then that's what they're doing. Like, if your own development team members, not development team, PR team members are telling you to complain, you know that this was the decision that was not. This was the decision that was not made. Not made. With everybody in mind. It was literally just a decision that was made at the top.
Even Christian Whitehead was like, "What? We had nothing to do with this one. Don't get on us. We had no idea they were doing this." So while we're doing that, while I'm on the subject of the garbage, so as a PC gamer, I really feel that when these companies add these anti-tamper systems like the Novo into these games, I feel it's a slap to the face to actual legit customers. Because when you do that and you hamper us, or you give us this software, and it could cause performance issues, it could stop us from playing a game later on down the road. We don't know that. But here's the thing: the people that pirate the game, the people that actually download the game and use the cracks are getting away scot-free, but the people that pay for it legitimately, you treat like crooks. Look, that's completely reversed. That's wrong.
Okay, well, Aaron, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I seem to be talking so much. Aaron, I want to hear your thoughts on that.
No, I'm pretty much in the same boat here. I agree with Keith that I think it's kind of unfair for people to trash the game in reviews and whatnot for the DRM existing, because the game's great. And as we've already discussed, the dev team definitely didn't seem like they were involved in the decision to put it on there. But Keith's absolutely right. The people that it doesn't impact are the people who crack the game and don't even have to deal with the DRM. And it often leads to people who legitimately bought the game also needing to crack it so that they can play it uninterrupted or without whatever problems it's causing. I don't know what the solid answer is here, though. I mean, I think companies are going to continue to pursue DRM in some form, but we see it worked out pretty consistently when people don't pursue that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and this is what I'm talking about, like, granted, we know that obviously it's been proven. Okay, let me get my words right. It's been proven that piracy does not affect game sales. Never has, never will. People typically...
Actually, I'm sorry, just to interject real quick. I've heard some people say it improves their game sales sometimes because people actually get to play a game and they go, "Oh, I like this. I want to pay for it."
Well, yes, then that's usually...
There actually have been companies that actually took their games and uploaded it so people can download the game on torrents and get a taste for the game and then go out and buy it. Like,
there was a game recently that did that. Let me see if I can look up who that was.
But while you're looking that up, I mean, piracy really doesn't affect game sales. Piracy actually helps to a degree because of the fact that it's like, oh, I get a chance to try the game because, demos barely exist anywhere. So I get to try the game, and if I like it, I get to buy it. If I don't like it, I just download. I just get rid of the download and call it a day. I understand where certain game companies are coming from, especially Japanese game companies. They're coming from the side where it's like, oh, we don't want our game pirated because it in a very unknown kind, not unknown, but a very misinformed kind of way. It kind of affects our sales and such like that. Plus, on top of that, you know, spoilers and all that. There's reasons that we don't honestly know as to why this is the case. However, I can definitely tell you that I agree. I 100% agree. I agree that it slaps consumers in the face. But if you're going to stop something that you feel is an epidemic, I mean, things like that tend to happen. Like, I'm not saying it's right, but things like that tend to happen. And there's no real, I wouldn't say there's no real, like Aaron said, I agree. There's no real solid answer as to whether or not this is a thing that can be stopped, because, hey, you got to stop something somehow, right? But more people get affected. So if you don't do it, and then all of a sudden games get cracked still, and game sales go down, whatever the case may be, I don't know. Like, we don't know. It's so many. Keith, how would you explain it? It's so many unknown variables that it just like creates a situation.
Well, let me go back to the first thing about how it actually can be solved, because I thought about this before. Now, perfect example is they're less restrictive on a game. You buy a game on Steam, you know people are going to play it on one or maybe multiple machines. Steam has the option that you play on your machine, and, or in the case of my machine back there, share my game. That's legit. Okay, fantastic. So why not tie it to a piece of hardware? Why not tie it to, I don't know, your motherboard BIOS? Why not tie it to but
didn't they used to do that? But didn't they used to do that before? I remember. I know NBA 2K14. I know NBA 2K4. Hold on, let me finish it. NBA 2K14. I remember that's one of the first games I got on Steam. You had to do a key, and that key is tied to your. I think it's tied to your hardware, in a sense. So if you try to download it on another computer, or if, let's say, you refresh your computer, that key's not going to work again.
I don't think it's tied to your hard. I haven't seen a game that does that, but there are many applications on Windows that does that. Windows does that.
Yeah.
OEM copies of Windows ties into your BIOS.
And then some other copies of Windows tied to your Microsoft account.
Well, so no, they tie to your Microsoft account. That's your digital entitlement. They're tied to your account. But if you, for example, an OEM, that's in your Microsoft account. But if you switch your motherboard, Windows says, "Hey, you need to be activated." You have to literally hit up Microsoft like, "Hey, I changed my software."
Especially if you change your BIOS, let's say you change your chipset from like a Z97 to something else. You know,
well, not even that extreme. It usually happens when you change chipsets completely, like your instructions. Like, so if you switch from Intel to AMD, it's definitely going to break.
Oh yeah,
you have to contact Microsoft and have them do what they do. What were you going to say, Aaron?
Your idea for tying it to hardware, wasn't that way back when the Xbox One was first announced, and they were talking about the new way they were going to like tie digital games to the consoles and whatnot? Is that sort of along those lines?
Similar, yeah. And then people shut that down. But yeah, I'm betting the willing that people would rather do that than use Lenovo.
Sure, yeah.
And at the same time, I guess they would probably oppose that one, because that one will be harder to defeat than Lenovo. Lenovo is just like somebody goes in their office for a couple of days. Oh, I've cracked it. Done.
But yeah, that's the biggest issue. I mean, you want a solution. You want a solution that prevents the usage of things like Lenovo, but you don't want a solution that does that because it takes away your freedom as a gamer. I'm sitting on there like, make up your fucking mind, please.
No, see that chain of thought. And excuse me if I'm being too rational or speculating too much, but that chain of thought right there is not a gamer. That is someone who has plans to pirate that shit.
No, but dude, Keith,
well, listen,
hear me out. That's exactly the chain of thought. That's exactly the chain of thought with the Xbox One. So I'm sitting on there like, what the fuck? Like, all gamers had that chain of thought.
Because they aren't using their brain, and they let Sony also say, "Hey, we got a better way of doing this." But you know what? There are two completely different platforms. The PC doesn't work like the Xbox One or PlayStation. I can't take my disc from my PC and take it to my other PC because we don't do that. We haven't done that in 15 years.
Jesus, yeah.
Even longer. Everything that you play on a PC has been downloaded or has to connect to a service. And that's people may not like that, but that's the best way to go about it. Yeah, it sucks if you're offline. Then maybe it'll let you, like Steam does. It lets you download a license for like 10 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours. We'll bypass the 24-hour check-in. And even still, that could be bypassed with cracks. There have been software that have done that. There's software now that it has to check in every so often, and you can kill it. Adobe Premiere is one of those things that checks in every so often. But there's ways around that. So there's a way around everything. It's making it harder, yet making it easier for consumers. If you told me that I downloaded a game and it tied into my motherboard or something specific in my machine versus making me pay for an antiquated DRM that may fuck up my machine or mess my performance up, fine. Why do I don't care? Because I don't have plans to distribute that game to every mom and pop and Sue and Sally and Jacob and whatever on the freaking internet. I could care less. I bought the game for me to play.
And at the same time, yeah, and at the same time, like again, like I said, that's the same chain of thought that the Xbox One gamers had. And they sat down and said, "Oh, that's a terrible idea." And this, that, and the third. I'm like, dude, Microsoft was actually onto something when they said that.
And not everybody complained about that. Not everybody complained about that, but the majority of people and Microsoft was like, "Well, we want to sell this system.
You know what?
Get it now."
And I'll be honest with you. I was one of the people like, dude, this is a smart ass idea. This is brilliant.
Look at the PlayStation when they started letting you sharing games. What happened?
That sales went up the fucking roof, right, Aaron?
PlayStation sold like hotcakes. Everybody was buying PlayStation because you can share games, and that's fantastic.
Right. I love how Aaron ain't saying nothing. Aaron's just like looking at me. I was like,
oh, I'm nodding along. I'm agreeing with all the points here, just silently.
Most of the things that we do on the PlayStation now, everything is coming down to the wire where everything is digital now. There's less and less physical games. People will buy more and more digital, so it becomes a moot point.
Like I'm sitting out here, and I'll be honest with you, dude. Xbox One had a 2 terabyte fucking hard drive when the Xbox One S came out. Remember that shit? Like
only limited edition.
It's still limited edition. Like there's still 1 terabyte shits. Like the fucking Xbox One X is coming out 1 terabyte. PS4 Pro 1 terabyte. PS4 Slim 1 terabyte or 500 depending on what bundle you get. You can swap out your PS4 hard drive. You can swap out your PS4 hard drive and slap in the 2 terabyte laptop hard drive in there. You can put an external. I have an 8 terabyte external hard drive that I reviewed. The Seagate going out of Haven. I net check that review. An 8 terabyte hard drive on my Xbox One. Are you fucking kidding me?
But I think we're getting off the.
No, we're not. Like it makes sense.
We're talking about digital versus physical now.
No, but it makes sense. It goes back. Oh, sorry, I flipped my. It goes back to that chain of thought where. Dude, we know de novo's a problem, but we don't want something that locks something to something. Where it's like, come on, son, like, get it together. Like,
you can't have your cake and eat it.
Nigga, put 2 and 2 together. Excuse my language. Like, put 2 and 2 together. Like, dead ass. Like, I'm not gonna sit down there and pretend. I'm not gonna sit down there and pretend that I'm the know-it-all of gaming. But I'm sorry, when a brilliant idea comes to play, I can see that shit a mile away. And dude, you know, that was a brilliant idea on Microsoft's part, and it got squashed because people were like, "Nah, we're not ready for that because we're not PC gamers." And then PC gamers ain't gonna be ready for that because, oh, why you want to lock down the stuff? This is bad. This is not our freedom. I'm like, no.
So here's the big thing, Clayton. And I know we're taking a long time on this subject, but here's how you can tell a verse PC gamer versus people that are just feeding into the masses. Origin and Steam are methods of DRM.
And not GOG.
GOG is not. GOG is DRM.
Uplay and Bethesda.net as well.
Yeah, they're forms of DRM. You have to be connected. So yes, Steam lets you play certain games in offline mode. Not all games are let you do that.
So you have to be connected.
You're at the mercy of the developer if they'll let you do that or not. But Steam is a DRM. You cannot play most of your games without being logged into Steam. There are a few that let you do that, but they're cracking down on that. Steam is DRM, Origin is DRM, Uplay is DRM. But you don't see many people complaining about that anymore because it's common for PC gamers. This is what we do. This is what we've been used to for years upon years.
Hell, even Blizzard Battle.net is one of the hardest forms of DRM.
You cannot play Blizzard games without being connected to the internet.
Yeah, like
I think they might have changed it for Diablo, but World of Warcraft online.
No, not even Diablo. You can't play any of that shit off.
You can't play
Overwatch.
Destiny 2 beta. You can't play Destiny 2 on any of the PlayStation or Xbox without being connected to Battle.net.
Yep.
You can't play those because it's a single player game with one player asset tied to an online authentication system. What you do online.
EA.
Hey, that's DRM.
Like EA Sports does the same thing. They let you still play the single player stuff, but playing multiplayer, you need to be connected to the EA Sports servers. Same thing with 2K servers. You need to be connected to those servers. You can't play. Hell, technically, you can play My Career offline. You just won't get the VC if you're offline. That's DRM.
That's why most people play that though. They want the VC.
That's again. That's why I said that's DRM to a degree. It's not as stringent, but it's DRM nonetheless. So DRM is everywhere.
It is.
Like, dude, playing online, Xbox Live and Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus. That's DRM.
There's just different forms of DRM, and people just don't get that idea yet. It'll catch up with them eventually. But getting back to de novo, I have a beef with the system. I understand why they do this, but when you do something like this, and you know in the back of your head that this stuff's going to get cracked, you've seen it. You've seen the history. You've seen game after game after game be cracked. Why are you even wasting your time? You're wasting your own. You're wasting your own resources. You're wasting your own money. Why? Find something else that works, because this isn't working for you.
Well, it's definitely gonna take a consensus for that to work, and I think that's gonna be a thing that we're just gonna have to figure out down the line. So PAX East 2018 is now 4 days, ladies and gentlemen. So starting on Thursday, you know, we gotta be there. I believe the dates is the first weekend of April, so that would be April the 5th to April the 8th.
Actually, it's not even the first weekend anymore because it starts on Thursday.
Well, technically, it's still the first weekend. The first week.
Thursday,
It's actually the first week. It's the first.
I don't count Thursday as a weekend.
Yeah, but it's the first week of thing. Now, my question is, granted, it's a 4-day event. Now, the question is, will it be straight up 4 days like PAX Prime, where there's no media day, or will there be a media day? And
I asked them that, and I haven't got a reply back, which means it's probably gonna be just like PAX West.
Which is fine. I mean, you know, that media hour is okay.
I asked them about that media hour too. Is that still there, or is that gone? They haven't said anything.
So, what's actually the deal with PAX West being 4 days? By the way, I thought they had a day that was developers or something. Like they had, like, their whole day.
Okay, so there's PAX Dev, which is completely developers, right?
Is that separate?
And then there's also that's separate. Then there's also because PAX West typically happens on the Labor Day weekend. That's why it ends up being 4 days.
Okay.
It extends to Monday. It starts to Friday and it extends to Monday. That's usually what the case is.
That's actually a good question, though. I was watching the PAX West, excuse me, on Mixer, because they covered all 4 days. And I don't remember much of the first day. I don't remember if it was... There was less people there on the first day, for sure.
It was a Friday. It was a Friday. And they still usually typically do Friday to Monday because Monday's Labor Day. So it gives people a chance to get back in, you know, get settled in and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there was a dedicated media journalism industry day, but I don't think that's the case because this is what PAX is. So
it'll E3 desperately needed.
It'll hurt if PAX gets rid of that hour. It will really hurt. I mean, granted, an extra day is fantastic, but an extra day also means that these tickets just went from being $150 to $200.
Oh yeah,
per person.
Jesus, that's
I ain't doing that.
That's rough.
Not doing that.
You know, Aaron, I mean, your thoughts on this?
I mean, I love PAX. I love going there. I was actually all on board, but had completely not considered the cost aspect of it until Keith just said that. So,
bruh, you're on the Outerhaven, son. Come on, son. You getting?
But think about this. Think about this for a second. Every year, PAX East has gone up in price.
Yeah.
So who's to say it's not $52 anymore? It might be $56.
Mm-hmm. That's
$200 to $220.
Well,
that's like one of their methods of trying to control scalping and just general overpopulation, right? Like jack the price up until it's not really like lucrative to do that.
PAX West sold out at $40 a ticket. That's not going to happen. And people recoup their price by selling their tickets to scalpers.
Mm.
So, yeah, I was sitting there thinking about it. Hey, 4 days, great. Wait, that's more money. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. I love the idea. I love PAX. I would love to spend more time there. But
and it's not just more money at PAX. It's more money for your hotel.
Yep. It's more money for hotel and
Airbnb and all that fun stuff.
Everything you're doing. Yeah.
Yep.
Just send an extra day. I don't know about that. And I was already talking. It was funny because I was like, huh, PAX West is 4 days. Why isn't PAX East 4 days? And then somebody was like, oh, it is 4 days. Like, oh, it is.
Yeah, they announced it like right after you said that. It was pretty funny.
Yep.
Yeah, because I was talking about that. People were talking about that. People came up to my channel and see my personal Discord, and they were talking about, oh, PAX is gonna be 4 days. I was like, PAX is gonna be 4 days? PAX East, really? I'm like, yeah, I've been hearing rumblings about that, and I told you that the day that they announced that as well, Keith. So that's kind of like a thing that talking about. But yo, PAX 4 days, we're gonna be there. Obviously, the Outerhaven is always at PAX. So
I gotta think. I mean, I'll be there if they give us. Look, I'll be there in capacity if we get the press passes, but I'll be there limited capacity if I have to pay for it, because that's $600.
Yeah, that's rough.
And oh yeah, that's right. That's your family vacation weekend, ain't it?
It ain't happening.
So I was just saying. That's usually your family vacation weekend, right?
Yeah, it's E3 all over again.
Oh, did they mention if they're expanding south as well, or is that already 4 days?
No, everything was 3 days up until PAX West.
Yeah.
So no word yet.
So
well, we ain't
hearing the first one to go.
Yeah, we ain't hearing nothing about PAX South. But I mean, if we want to go down to San Antonio, just let me know, man. I'll get the money for that.
Can happen.
Have any going to PAX East? You'll be broke. Can't do both.
Fuck says I got friends in San Antonio, boy. What you talking about?
That shit's expensive.
I got friends in San Antonio. What the fuck you talking about? Anyways,
It's kind of funny. PAX South still has 3-day passes.
well, PAX South is still pretty damn new. But let's move on before we end this podcast. It's almost 10 o'clock. Oh my god, we're about to end the podcast before 10 o'clock. What the fudge nuts?
PAX
Oh my god.
South tickets are $80 for 3 days. I missed those days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so YouTube targets live streamers and gaming with this latest update. Yes, this latest.
I didn't care about that. I saw that and I was like, what is that? What is that? Ultra low latency?
So based F, comma T, comma L. So pretty much what they were talking about in the blog post published today, Kurt Williams, the YouTube Live product lead, outlined some features that they were working on. So for gaming, it's ultra low latency, which allows streamers to correspond with the audience with minimal delay. So, you know, Twitch had first addressed this in 2015, and Twitch still has latency issues alongside YouTube, while Mixer, on the other hand, has FTL, which is actually working better than expected. Like now, you know, where, you know, the minimum delay is what, 2 seconds, Keith?
2 seconds.
If that, yeah, like it's
If that.
yeah.
Yeah. So if that 2 seconds, usually 1 second or like half a second delay. So you know it's almost instantaneous.
It's not even half a second half the time, dude. It's like milliseconds.
So
Just about right on, yeah.
So it's instantaneous at the point. So yeah, FTL is almost
there,
instantaneous. So for those watching the stream, there's less of delay between the action and response to it. Now, keep in mind, Mixer is still at the head of the bunch. However, a recent report from Steam Labs confirmed that YouTube is seeing growth in viewership and users, especially compared to Twitch. So their user base is actually increasing way more than Twitch's user base is increasing.
They have more features. They have more features.
But the Twitch is still superior at monetizing its viewership, especially with the affiliate program that's going down right now and the bits thing as well.
The bits is what's doing it big time. The bits, the ability to upload VODs, the ability to play the VODs on demand.
Vodcast, yes.
Also the fact that they have a lot of big sponsors on there, a lot of big advertisers on there. Twitch is used for most, if not all, with the exception of certain sponsored esports events. YouTube doesn't have that slice of the pie. Sure, they have the VODs. You can store your stuff there indefinitely, which is the big one on Twitch. They have better encoding, but Twitch has been working on that one for a while now. And Twitch is Twitch. Twitch has had the following since what? Just was it Justin
TV? Yeah.
And just getting bigger from there. YouTube, the YouTube gaming portion of YouTube is still relatively new compared to Twitch. And then you got Mixer, who is fighting and clawing to get its own market share. It's the younger out of all of them. They all have something to offer gamers, but Twitch still has the rocket share. Now, I did catch, what was it? PAX West. I think it was like the first day or the second day. They had a YouTube panel with some YouTube streamers on there, and they were saying that YouTube has some stuff that they're working on that's going to change the way things are going. And I'm guessing this is one of the announcements.
Okay.
But I don't understand this. ultra low latency setting lets users stream video with just a couple seconds of latency. A couple of seconds is 2. Is it 2? Because remember we did a comparison.
Well, Keith, you're also saying a couple seconds as in the literal sense. They're probably using it in the
that's what I'm saying.
In the figurative sense.
What I'm saying. When I did the testing, I did a test on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Mixer to see who was faster. Obviously, Mixer was. Even without FTL, Mixer was faster. Then it was Twitch, and then it was YouTube. So I'm curious to see how much of a difference this makes.
Aaron?
Right on board there. I'm curious to see how much of a difference it makes too. It doesn't seem like the YouTube gaming stuff is really. It didn't look like it took off very well to me. Like it's still got quite a slow start to it. We haven't even messed with them too much either. Mixer was the one I was most excited about, to be honest. After we talked to them at E3, the whole FTL thing, didn't they say that was based on the technology they use for Skype, like for how low latency that is? So like that seems like they really like knew what they were doing with that. If they just get the rest of their servers like together, I think they've got the best shot at going toe to toe Twitch. Twitch just has that name recognition at this point. They're the behemoth. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interested to see what YouTube's got coming out here. I haven't messed with any of their tools yet.
I play YouTube once in a while. I still think of YouTube as just the place I go to upload my videos so people can see them over and over and over. I don't really think of them as the place to go to stream games, but people have found their followings on YouTube. There are people, especially those that have big channels, and they decide to open up their own gaming channel, or the e-celebrities. They're doing good on YouTube gaming. But yeah, the lion's share again, it's still on Twitch.
Yeah.
What about the censorship stuff we talked about last time? I mean, how's that play in with? That's been impacting channels, and then I mean, if you're looking for even lower latency on live broadcasts, I mean, how is that going to affect things?
That is a good question, and I don't have an answer because that censorship is still going, and people are still talking about leaving YouTube, and YouTube is still going to do their thing to get their advertisers. So it's a good question. I don't have an answer.
Okay, so let's go some quick rapid fire stuff real quick. On Steam, Mike Z. Remember Mike Z, Keith? Skullgirls and all that fun stuff?
Yeah.
They hit 1 million sales on Steam.
I saw that, and part of me was like, it took you long enough. But at the same time, it's like, the game is really underrated. It really is. It lost a lot of luster. My ghost just started talking again. It lost a lot of luster. Street Fighter, Tekken, Killer Instinct. And it's a good fighter. It's a damn shame. I think what's probably hurting it is it's a little more technical as well.
Yes.
So, Street Fighter Third Strike shows you that people don't really like big technical fighters. Virtual Fighter shows you people don't really like technical fighters.
Yeah. Let's see. Another quick hit. So, at Gamescom, we had a random journalist. I don't remember where he's from. He played Cuphead for 26 minutes, and it was bad. I mean, you thought Doom was bad? Whew.
Oh, I love that video. I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to remember where they were from.
Oh, you mean his playing was bad, not that the game was bad?
No, his playing was bad, yes.
Okay. Well, I've heard it's supposed to be pretty difficult, which I'm looking forward to.
No, he couldn't get off the tutorial stage.
Oh.
It was, who was it? It was
gosh.
GamesBeat. It's from GamesBeat.
Oh, from VentureBeat?
Dean Takahashi.
Yup. Dean Takahashi, a GamesBeat, had a moment of shame as he fails to pass a level in Cuphead. VentureBeat actually posted it like that. They are roasting this cat. Like, it's bad. On YouTube, literally, the like to dislike ratio is fucking nuts. Oh God! So it actually started a conversation on gaming journalism. I know I wanted to do quick hits, but this actually was a legitimate conversation I thought about. It was a conversation on gaming journalism, saying that, especially on Twitter, because I know Keith and I answered a question on that on Twitter. Why are games journalists, in a general sense,
I was
bad at video games.
I was like, sir, I am a game journalist, and I am not bad at games.
That's why I said general. Like, remember, there's always an exception to the rule. But why are games journalists terrible at video games?
Because they're not gamers.
You know what? I'm not sure if I agree with that entirely. I would argue that possibly. I mean, everyone's got their preferred genres and games that they're good at. Some people aren't good at any games. I mean, I'll give you that. But if you're in journalism, it's possible you get sent out to cover something that it's not the type of game you normally play. It's not something you're generally interested in or good at. But it's your assignment. You got to go cover it. So I mean, that could have been the case here. I don't know.
Did you see the video? I mean,
I've got it on now. It's painful.
This is
it's very
painful.
painful.
You can't even beat this.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to go benefit of the doubt here. But yes, I mean, we do see it often where people covering games aren't very good at them. Oh, this is bad.
I didn't watch this whole thing. God.
No, I just jumped to the middle. I'm watching a few minutes. I had to check to make sure I didn't have it on loop. For a couple of seconds, he just keeps dying.
Oh my God, he done. Oh God, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad.
The bad thing about
it is bad. No.
Or generalizing and everything. They're saying, like you're saying, all game journalists are bad because stuff like this, like the Doom stuff from Polygon and other people, give game journalists a bad name. And people are like, why can't these guys even play games? Why are they even reviewing this stuff if they can't play these games?
I mean, Dem Rupees Dem Rupees literally had a really good point in the Twitch chat. People who switch over to games journalism because their initial industry is dead or dying. For example, Adam Sussler used to be a banker and such.
Oh, that explains so much. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. Because take us, for example. I didn't leave my profession. I'm still in IT. I started game journalism because I was passionate about playing games and talking about games and putting my own spin on games. I didn't do it because my career path was dying.
There's probably a fair amount though out there. I think he's got a point.
But then you got some journalists that were in there that left because they got burnt out and like, this is garbage. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like I'm an educator. And I'm doing game journalism. Like, this is journalism is technically one of my other passions. You know, we're not disagreeing with that at all. Like, nah, we're totally not disagreeing with that.
It's different for everybody. But I think we all can agree that if you are a gaming journalist, that you should have at least the basic capacity to play something like Mario or Sonic. You should be able to know how to jump. You should be able to know how to run. You should be able to do the basics. Basics.
Like, even if you don't know how to do even if you don't know how to do wall jumping with Mario, or it's fine. If you don't know how to do like if you don't know how to do combos in like Street Fighter, that's okay as long as you know the mechanics of the game. Like that's the most important part.
If a little 4 to 5-year-old can play a game better than you may have a problem.
Just bring them with you on your assignment. Just
like for me,
you have to tell people they were playing. Tell them it's your video.
Yeah. Like for me, it's like, there's certain games that I'm not too good at, but at least I know the mechanics. I mean, I think that's where people need to understand. If you're going into any profession, you have to at least know the mechanics of what you're doing. If you're going into journalism, you need to at least learn about your subject. That's exactly what, the Walter Cronkites, the Hunter S. Thompsons, and all of them did. So why are we getting to a point where we don't have to be Hunter S. Thompson or Walter Cronkite, but instead we're going to be fucking Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly, and Megyn Kelly? Fuck that. I'm not hearing that shit. Like, I'm not hearing that shit. You need to aspire to be the Shepard Smiths of the world, or the Peter Jennings, or the Peter Jennings, the Shepard Smiths, the Ted Koppels, the Dan Rathers of the world, like people that took their craft seriously. Like, I feel like a lot of gaming journalism cats.
Hey, what the hell? He's running into the damn people.
Yeah, I'm watching. This is like watching my dad play video games.
Stop. Yo, I'm trying to make a point, and you're sitting out there like, Cam, what the fuck is going on?
This is bad.
I know. Again, the majority. You're right. And the rupees, you know what? I'll give you credit for that. That's actually very good point. The majority doesn't demand quality. Self-identifying gamers will buy anything because they're buying the identity more so than the game itself. He's not wrong. He is
Elaborate on
not
that one.
wrong.
Elaborate on that one. What do you mean?
Self-identifying gamer. So if they identify with something, they would purchase it because they identify it as opposed to the substance of the game.
I don't think those two are connected. For example, you're showing off the game. People have already decided they want to play the game. People have been saying, in this instance, Cuphead, people want this game. But seeing somebody who's supposed to be representative of the gaming journalism, people that are supposed to be telling you, hey, this is a fantastic game. Hey, you might be already on the fence about this game, but if I came back and said, you know what? It's super awesome, fantastic. You're like, all right, I was already on the fence about this. Now I'm really going to get it. And then I see you playing like, dude, you said get this game and you can't play this. Should I be listening to you?
I mean, at the same time, too, I think if I interpret it the other way that he's trying to say, that Rupees is trying to say, it's less. So, for example, again, you know, and this is a kind of thing, people go to the websites that they go to or go to the news sources that they go to because they identify with those news sources. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably the other way of interpreting it, that as well, because people will go to IGN regardless of what IGN's opinions are against the consumer, you know. The consumer will go to that thing. So it doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't really make a difference how lazily they cover it and such like that. It's that they're known, and that's what they'll go to, regardless of the fact, no matter what happens.
Why even go to it? Then if you're expecting subpar quality, why go to it? Would you watch a football player who sucks at what he does?
I mean,
would you watch LeBron James if he
depends on your hometown.
Look, listen. People watch Tim Tebow. All right, I'm just saying. He's pretty shitty.
He's got a personality. He's charming people with personality.
You know, that's like telling me to watch. That's like telling me to watch JaVale McGee. I'm sorry, what? Like, what? But you know, Keith. I mean, back to you with the topics. I mean, why aren't gaming journalists held to a higher standard? In terms of, you know, when they're showing games off. You know, do you think that this is causing a decline where more people are going towards like people on YouTube that are quote unquote actual gamers and making careers out of this?
That's a part of it. That is a part of it. And this is why companies, I feel, are going to these YouTubers. They're like, they can play this game. I'm going to give them this review copy or this preview copy, so you can make millions of videos, so people can see our game in action, so they can go pick it up.
Aaron,
why do you think you know, like places like IGN have these previews locked down with their IGN first, so they have the mother share of the coverage, and these other sites can't get access to the stuff yet, and they can post their stuff, and they don't really have bad people playing on them.
Aaron, your thoughts on this?
I think part of it also might be for the sites that, I mean, I think it was a valid point that people who probably shouldn't be or probably aren't at home covering games get, you know, end up in the industry just for whatever their home industry was dying, wherever they came from. But also when you get thrown in here, if you are getting a look at a game or if you are getting coverage on a game, there's a lot of pressure on getting the content produced and getting it out there as quickly as possible. Ties into what Keith is saying. If you're getting coverage at all, it's important because otherwise people are turning to streamers and YouTubers more than traditional media. So there's a lot of pressure to cover this game, get it out there, but play it, make a video, make a write-up. And if it's not something you're suited to, you still have to do it, and you get stuff like this coming out.
Fair enough. So we're going to end this podcast here. Keith, do you have a final thought that's outside of the realm of the conversation that we're having?
Minute? Is that how you pronounce her name?
Minette.
Fucking super move. It's just... Can I watch that all day, please?
Yo, Matt and I...
Dante.
Yeah, I know. Matt and I was talking about Minette. Talking about how, yo, she has an unblockable overhead because of her mechanics. Like Street Fighter broke their own mechanics with that. So, you know, we kind of was talking about that. Aaron, final.
She goes into a convulsion when she does her super. It's like, okay.
Okay. Aaron, thoughts?
What I'd say was 48 days to Destiny 2 PC. Countdown. Still counting down.
Don't remind me.
48 days.
That being said, ladies and gentlemen, you know, make sure you check out all the other content on the Outerhaven. Make sure you go to youtube.com. That's the Outerhaven. If you're watching this on VOD, you know, we talked all about this live. You can participate in the conversation both on YouTube and on twitch.tv/NavigatorBowman. And starting next week again on mixer.com/the Outer Haven. We also have a lot of stuff going on at the Outer Haven. Make sure you check out the A1 podcast, Sony centric, the Strange and Wonderful recap. Twin Peaks just ended, and we're gonna go right into the old stuff. We also got the A1 podcast, Warren Infinite Panels, Reaction Theater, and a whole lot more that's going on the Outer Haven. We're also gonna be trying our hardest, because we do work and we do have our personal jobs. We're gonna get content up for NBA 2K18, the Prelude, that debuts on Friday. So we're gonna try to get that up, as well as some other content out there. Keith, where can they find you streaming, sir?
In the cloud.
I mean, yes, but where?
You can find me at Mixer, www.mixer.com/Shadowhaxor, SHADOWHAXOR.
And Aaron, where can they find you, sir?
Oh, do I have to spell mine? Because you spelled yours. Mixer.com/mechanicism, MECHANIKISM. I've got a channel here on Twitch TV as well. And I'm over at battlefuchsia.com. We do a podcast there bi-weekly. Should actually have one posted soon from last week. And
you also find me, Navigator Bowman, on Twitch. The name is right there. The name is right there on the screen. That being said, make sure, ladies and gentlemen, so obviously the west coast of Florida is going to be, hit by a hurricane themselves.
Oh, boy.
As well. So Houston is still recovering. So you make sure you donate.
Going to be recovering for years, for months,
yeah,
years.
Make sure you donate to them. Donate as much as you can, whether it be time, whether it be canned goods, clothing, money, however you can. And also make sure, if anything happens on the west coast of Florida, make sure that you're staying on top of that as well, because we will definitely be providing information on where to donate in the description on YouTube as well. I'm Clinton Bowman. I'm joined by Keith and Aaron, and we will be back next week, Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, for episode number 33 of the Xbox Experience, Xbox and PC gaming from the gamer's perspective. Peace.
In the Middle East.
Hey, let's do this.